It seems that it is a real place that is kept by the Muslims. So it was used for many centuries as a Muslim grave. That's why inside there is something of the old biblical grave. From outside it was very much rebuilt, but the place is real. So we'll go there, we'll read the gospel, and we'll come inside the grave, and I hope we'll come out also. So it seems to be real. Here is a place that was a bit outside of the city of Bethany in the Gospel times, and here was a kind of a cemetery in the biblical times, and it seems that really there is a very early Christian tradition according to this place. So it seems to be a real place, burial place of Lazarus. After the Muslim conquest, there was a certain Muslim population in this village. That's why all of them were used many times, especially after a change of population, a change of power, and so on. That's why, of course, it was used by the Muslims. So it belonged to a Muslim family. That's why it was rebuilt from the outside, of course. So the deepest part of the cave seems to be of the time of Lazarus. The upper side in this entrance and so on, it's much later. So now it belongs also to Muslims. There is a new mosque on the left side. Here there is a small property of the Greek Patriarchy and the Northern Church on the right hand. But here is no parish, no monastery. That's why normally it's closed, and sometimes there is liturgy. Downstairs on the right, there is a Catholic church built by Antonio Barluzzi, by the famous Italian architect who built most of the Franciscan churches in the Holy Land in the 20th century. So there are churches, there are remains of the medieval churches, but the place itself is not Christian. Here is a place, the plan of this tomb. And I think that here we may read the gospel, because there is another group down, and the place is rather small. So we'll read, they will come out, and we'll come after.
Я бы хотел сделать одно объявление. I'd like to make an announcement, well, actually a couple of announcements. As place is very small, it probably would be good idea to divide group into two halves. So one group would go down and would come out. As you're going down, the stairs are very high and very, very slippery. So please be very careful. They're all stone, so don't fall. And as you're coming down, you're finding semi-little square, like a little room, and in the middle of this room there is an opening in the floor. If you want to get into the tomb of Lazarus, perhaps it's not the worst idea to crawl in a little bit backwards, because it's, the entrance as you're going down second set of stairs, there are just 3 or 4 of them. It's very, very low, and you always make, like when you've been in kindergarten, perhaps you make goose steps where you sit, like sitting in such way and bend your knees, and that's how you get in. Inside there is a Crusader chapel, and there are probably 11 to 12 people can get in at any one time. So those of you who are a little bit claustrophobic, it's very well lit and everything, but if some of you are claustrophobic, you may stay on top, and there is an opening, a window, where you can see in the tomb of Lazarus. There is really nothing there. So again, it was same idea perhaps as we saw yesterday at Hebron, when we saw the tombs, but you're not going to see exactly the same things here. Obviously, as Father Alexander said, it was numerous times rebuilt, but it's a place where Christ came and called Lazarus out. And as we'll go down and venerate the tomb, on our way to the bus. We won't go all the way up, but see if Catholic Church is open. We'll stop in to look at the church and the mosaics. And there is a second exit. I believe it will be open through the Catholic Church, right on the parking lot. Right on the parking lot.
6 большое чтение. Иоанн, 11 глава, сначала до 46 стих. John 6.
Verse 46.
46.
Yes.
Okay.
This not.
Huh?
This we need.
Oops.
And that we may hear the Holy Gospel, let us pray to the Lord.
Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy.
Wisdom attend the reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John.
Glory to thee, Lord, glory to thee.
Let us attend. Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary who anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair. His brother Lazarus was ill. So the sisters sent to him, saying, Lord, he whom you love is ill. But when Jesus heard it, he said, This illness is not unto death. It is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified by means of it. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. Then after this he said to the disciples, Let us go into Judea again. The disciples said to him, Rabbi, the Jews were but now seeking to stone you, and are you going there again? Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of this world. But if anyone walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him. Thus he spoke, and then he said to them, Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I go to awake him out of sleep. The disciples said to him, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will recover. Now Jesus had spoken of his death, but they thought that he meant taking rest in sleep. Then Jesus told them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him. Thomas, called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. Now when Jesus came, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him while Mary sat in the house. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you. Jesus said to her, Your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, Yes, Lord. I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, he who is coming into the world. When she had said this, she went and called her sister Mary, saying quietly, The teacher is here and is calling for you. And when she heard it, she rose quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet come to the village, but was still in the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who were with her in the house consoling her saw Mary rise quickly and go out, they followed her, supposing that she was going to the tomb to weep there. Then Mary, when she came where Jesus was and saw him, fell at his feet, saying to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled, and he said, Where have you laid him? They said to him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. So the Jews said, See how he loved him. But some of them said, Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? Then Jesus, deeply moved again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Jesus said, Take away the stone. Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he has been dead 4 days. Jesus said to her, Did I not tell you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? So they took away the stone. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. I knew that thou hearest me always, but I have said this on account of the people standing by, that they may believe that thou didst send me. When he had said this, he said with a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. The dead man came out, his hands and feet unbound with bandages, and his face wrapped with a cloth. And Jesus said to them, unbind him and let him go.
Некто Лазарь из Вифании и селения, где жили Мария и Марфа, сестра ее. Мария же, которой брат Лазарь болен, была та, которая помазала Господа миром и отерла ноги его волосами своими. Сестры послали сказать ему, Господи, вот кого ты любишь болен. Иисус, слышав, то сказал, это болезнь к смерти, но к славе Божией, да прославится через нее Сын Божий. Иисус же любил Марфу, сестру ее и Лазаря. Когда же услышал, что он болен, то пробыл 2 дня на том месте, где находился. После этого сказал ученикам, пойдем опять в Иудею. Ученики сказали ему, Равви, давно ли иудеи искали побить тебя камнями, и ты опять идешь туда? Иисус отвечал, не 12 ли часов во дне, кто ходит днем, тот не спотыкается, потому что видит свет мира сего, а кто ходит ночью, спотыкается, потому что нет света с ним. Сказав это, говорит им потом, Лазарь, друг наш, уснул, но я иду разбудить его. Ученики его сказали, Господи, если уснул, то выздоровеет. Иисус говорил о смерти его, а они думали, что он говорит о сне обыкновенном. Тогда Иисус сказал им прямо, Лазарь умер, и радуюсь за вас, что меня не было там, дабы вы уверовали, но пойдем к нему. Тогда Фома, иначе называемый близнец, сказал ученикам, пойдем, и мы умрем с ним. Иисус, придя, нашел, что он уже 4 дня в гробе, Вифания же была близ Иерусалима, в стадиях 15. И многие из иудеев пришли к Марфе и к Марии утешать их о печали и о братьях их. Марфа, услышав, что идет Иисус, пошла навстречу ему, Мария же сидела дома. Тогда Марфа сказала Иисусу, Господи, если бы ты был здесь, не умер бы брат мой. Но я теперь знаю, то, чего просишь, что у Бога даст тебе Бог. Иисус говорит ей, воскреснет брат твой. Марфа сказала ему, знаю, что воскреснет в воскресенье в последний день. Иисус сказал ей, есть в воскресенье жизнь, верующий в меня, если умрет, оживет. И всякий живущий верующий в меня не умрет вовек. Веришь ли сему? Она говорит ему так, Господи, я верую, что ты Христос, Сын Божий, грядущий в мир. Сказав это, пошла и позвала тайно Марию, сестру свою, говоря, учитель здесь и зовет тебя. Она, как скоро услышала, поспешно встала и пошла к нему. Иисус еще не входил в селение, но был на том месте, где встретила его Марфа. Иудеи, которые были с ней в доме, утешали ее, видя, что Мария поспешно встала и вышла, пошли за нею. Полагая, что она пошла на гроб плакать, а Мария же, придя там, где был Иисус, и увидев его, пала к ногам его, не сказала ему, Господи, если бы ты был здесь, не умер бы брат мой. Иисус, когда увидел ее плачущую, пришедшую с ней иудеев плачущих, сам встал духом, возмутился и сказал, где вы положили его? Говорят ему, Господи, пойди и посмотри. Иисус прослезился. Тогда иудеи говорили, смотри, как он любил его, а некоторые из них сказали, не мог ли сей отверший очи слепому сделать, чтобы и этот не умер. Иисус же опять, скорбя внутренне, приходит к гробу, то была пещера, камень лежал на ней. Иисус говорит, отнимите камень. Сестра умершего Марфа говорит ему, Господи, уже смердит, ибо 4 дня как в гробе. Иисус говорит ей, не сказал ли я тебе, что если будешь веровать, увидишь славу Божию? Не так отняли камень от пещеры, где лежал умерший. Иисус же возвел очи к небу и сказал, Отче, благодарю тебя, что ты услышал меня. Я и знал, что ты всегда услышишь меня, но сказал сие для народа здесь стоящего, чтобы поверили, что ты послал меня. Сказав это, он воззвал громким голосом, Лазарь, иди вон. Не вышел умерший, обвитый по рукам и ногам погибельными пеленами, лицо обвязанное его было платком. Иисус говорит им, развяжите его, пусть идет. Тогда многие из иудеев, пришедших к Марии, видевшие, что сотворил Иисус, уверовали в Него, и некоторые из них пошли к фарисеям и сказали им, что сделал Иисус. Тебе, Господи,
One priest.
One priest? Okay. So I'll probably will squeeze in between.
Watch your steps. Elizabeth? Watch your steps.
Саша, иди с мной.
Можно. Так очень тяжело, потому что ноги, она просто поломает свои ноги, знаешь.
Мама, попробуешь?
Только к окошечку подойди здесь.
Мама, самое тяжелое, ты просто здесь вот нагнуться первый за
Настя,
ступеньки.
Настя, ну не надо, здесь порвет она все связки, знаешь.
Хорошо, ладно. Поднимай.
Не поднимай голову.
И спину не
Ниже голову. Сейчас, второй.
Ты у нас миниатюрненькая.
Молодец.
Господи, Господи.
Господи, помилуй. Господи, помилуй. Спасибо, Господи. Помилуй нас, Господи, во царстве Своем. Помилуй, Господи, прежде почивших. Признанного нами покровителей моих, Пелагея Василия, Елена Верна, которого мы Василия, Анатолия, Анатолия Сергия, Стефана, Игнатьевна, Святица Клавдия, Ксения, Екатерина, Ивана, Иван, Нина, Павла, Архипресвятера, Афанасия, Галина, Валентина, Евгения, Митрополита Василия, Примария, Александра, Вячеслава, Александра, Зою, Ивана, Василия, Александра, Александру, Галину, Валентину, Валентина, Зою, Владимира, Ивана. Господи, помилуй. Помилуй, Господи, во царстве Своем всех наших сродников. Господи, помилуй во царстве Своем во здравии. Раба Божьего Александра, раба Божьей Галины, раба Божьего Анастасия, раба Божьего Германа. Всех наших сродников, Господи.
Голову не поднимай, спину не поднимай.
Не поскользнулся.
Because it was altered so many times and everything was closed. Yes, please.
Короче, Герман сейчас. Герман, проходи. Нет. Там нужен. Он будет
Да, нет, relatively.
The original tomb.
Yeah, that would be the street level and like the entryway into the tomb like we saw yesterday. It would be somewhere there, like a passage into the cave. But inside it was expanded, and what you see there is a Crusader chapel.
Самая большая ступень глубокая. All of them, they have a cooking hole.
So if you'd like, if you
Well, these steps are
No, all
the
of them.
window there.
Are the pilgrims?
to turn around was almost impossible for a man to come.
But
So
you've
they
been
must
there
have.
now.
Ah,
Have you been
well, I
there?
only went partway down.
Oh, yeah.
But she was telling me you can get 3 people standing in there. So they've opened it. They must have had people stop.